story-driven MMO. Story and choice builds your character, and based on those choices is the result of your character. You can bring them to bear against other players in PvP and in the endgame. We're excited to be talking about endgame and PvP here at PAX. And today we are showing our third Warzone announced, Hutball. And we get the video up here at any moment in time. Sweet. All right, the match has started. Go for it. Now, Hutball Warzones are 8v8 player versus player matches. This being the third one. Hutball is run by the Hut Cartel, a sport famous across the galaxy that players can go to compete for fame and fortune. Now, in Hutball, you can go Republic versus Empire, you can go Republic versus Republic, or Empire versus Empire. The object is to get the ball in the middle and take it to the enemy's side, the enemy's end zone. And of course, anything goes. And it looks like the mercenary, the Empire, has the ball, but he just went down, the Guardian killed him, and picked up the ball. The class we have right here is the Gunslinger class, a cover class. Very unique sort of mechanic in MMO in the space. He can find cover in the environment, roll into it. He can also deploy portable cover. Like so. Now the icon's overhead. That means they got a medal for doing some achievement. You get medals for guarding, for defending your allies, for getting the ball, getting scores, etc. There's a lot of different hazards throughout Hutball. Like the acid trap, right behind there. Major skirmish going on. In the top right corner, you can see the rock runners. The Empire have the ball right now. Now, combat in Star Wars: The Old Republic is very visual. Nearly every combat attack has a different animation, so you can see what your enemy's doing. You can get to know those attacks. Commando's unbeatable. That means he got 4 medals in a row without dying. Now, other things we've been talking about PAX here is the end game. We have flashpoints, several different flashpoints. That's where 4 players can get together and they can go on RPG type adventures. We have several of those in the end game. We also have operations where 8 to 16 players can get together and face the greatest threats in the galaxy.
Take out a Brogdog! Brutal!
Now, as you can hear, there's an announcer in the game. He will announce who has the ball possession, what the score is, if someone's intercepted. You can also throw the ball when you have the ball. You can pass it to your allies, and they can't be intercepted by enemies. Gunslinger's trying to take cover here. Cover gives him, of course, better defense, but not enough so that he can outdo poor Empire there. It's all right, Cameron. We got Cameron, one of the class designers here playing. No pressure, buddy. When you die, you can respawn, run from the dugout, get right back into the match. You see all the different hazards throughout the environment to avoid. The yellow beam over there shows that the Frog Dogs, the Republic team, has the ball, which is the Gunslinger team. Now we have several different classes in this match. There's 8 different classes on each side. The advanced classes are the classes in the traditional MMO set, and each one has 3 different specializations. Gunslinger specializes in cover, also several different utility, and doing burst damage and range. Then we have these players and the players over there at 14, level 14, so they're a lower level. And you can go and line up over there at the Star Wars booth to play this, as well as the Origin Worlds. We're showing all the different Origin Worlds to play this. Commando has the ball. Commando's a heavy damage class range. Hell of a skirmish going on here. Commando needs to take the ball to the Frog Dog side, to the purple side of the field. is about to go down. All right. Well, you can go over there and see more of the match. We're going to show a video that gives you a summary of Hot Ball and the different features inside. So go ahead and switch it to the video. Afterwards, we're going to do a Q&A. We're going to bring Daniel up here, the lead rider, and I'm going to stay up here and we're going to answer some questions. Go ahead and fire the video, guys. What's up? There it is.
Atlas before, we're now going to show you how to fight the Cerberus Atlas. What's an Omni Blade?
Alright, well I guess technical difficulties with the video.
little technical difficulty there. I've lightsabered everybody in the back. They're all dead now.
You're good. Next time we'll do that. Oh, we switch back to video. Well, actually, guys, now's the time we're going to Q&A, so we can cut this video here. The guys in the back.
Okay, so we are going to take a few questions.
Daniel, come on up.
Gamer Matangelo here, who is the lead endgame designer.
All right, so if you have any questions focused on writing lore, this is your guy here.
Or possibly abs. That works.
Abs as well.
Abs is good.
If you get a good question, he shows his abs.
Anyone's had a question, please raise your hand or come to me. I'm right here with a water bottle in my hand. Questions? No? Okay, we're oh, okay.
There's a lot of PvP guilds, formed those specifically for PvP. Will guilds be able to queue this full 8-man teams in the war zones?
No, you're going to be able to queue 4 players for the war zones at launch. I mean, there's a list of other PvP features we want to do, including entirely pre-made matches or pre-made matches. But we're trying to mitigate the pre-made steamrolling all the solos, and so we're matching group to group. So after a certain amount of time, we will allow, because the matchmaking system is dynamic, after a certain threshold, we'll allow multiple groups versus multiple groups. But initially, it's one group, singles. And over time, it unlocks that.
Anyone else have a question?
What options are you going to have for us to find people to party with for both PvE and PvP content?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all that.
Essentially, what options do we have looking for group, right?
Okay, so the game is very solo friendly. Our storytelling, you can go solo throughout, and even at the end game there's solo stuff. But we have sort of social center hubs where players will run into each other, and from there, like the Viking spaceport and the Carrick space station, you can access flashpoints, operations, etc. So you'll run into people, and you can flag yourself as looking for a group. Did I leave anything out?
One of the things, I think, yeah, we've got the looking for group and that sort of stuff. We've done a whole sort of renovation on how we put people together, how the looking for group works, what's involved in there, what's on there. We're actually flagging it now, so if you finish a quest with people, we'll actually prompt you to add people as your friends right there. we're doing a lot to actually try to put people together right at the beginning and try to give them the tools up front to make sure that you've probably got some people on your friends list after the first day or so, instead of making that hidden feature. So we're really putting all the social stuff up front and center.
Quick question about the role of tanks.
We've seen in a lot of recent MMOs, you have multiple tank classes which each specialize in something different, be it tanking for dodging, tanking for parrying, being able to eat massive amounts of damage. Are we going to be seeing that same thing in Star Wars The Old Republic, or is it going to be more of a unified, all the tank classes, while they may be melee or ranged, going to feel different?
Are the different kind of tank specs that we have, do they feel different? Like, for example, melee and range, do they feel different from each other?
All of our classes are very themed. They're very sort of Star Wars, they have a Star Wars role, so they will feel different in the action. When you boil down to the system, we do have avoidance tanks. We have straight, mitigation durability tanks. I mean, and that's ultimately when it comes down to the health bar, that's what it comes down to, avoidance and mitigation. And so there are variants and there's stuff in between. And the range tanking, obviously, I guess another flair we do is there's a lot of sort of damage and other utility aspects. There's force, right? The force is all kinds of telekinetic movement. So that is very themed with the force wielders versus the commando tanks, like the Vanguard, very ranged, very sort of like, satisfying damage, explosions, that kind of stuff. So there's a very different kind of feel. It's a different feel. But systematically, when you've got a health bar involved, ultimately it's durability and avoidance.
Thank you. So I have kind of a two-part question. The first part is, are the devs going to play at lunch with everyone else? And the second part of that is, what are your favorite classes?
I'm definitely going to play. You going to play, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing all the time now. There are definitely things that I'm sort of setting aside for launch. Things I've tested earlier that I say, okay, I'm going to get more into that at launch. As far as favorite classes, those change all the time. Right now, I'm just about finished with the Sith Inquisitor, which has some of the craziest sort of outlandish, or the sort of extended universe. Let's find out the real mysteries of the Sith stuff, and that's super fun. What are you playing right now?
I enjoy the cover classes, specifically the Sniper and Gunslinger. It's a little bit of a steeper learning curve in PvP, but it's badass once you cross that threshold. And there's a lot of utility with it, and generally speaking, I like utility type classes. I also enjoy the Jedi Guardian, and then of course the counterpart, the Juggernaut, because of the guard mechanic, which I'm really happy about in PvP as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey. Yep. Just wanted to ask about the Eternity Vault, the raid progression there. So you mentioned recently there's 5 encounters in the instance. What kind of progression timing do you think that is for players? How long do you expect them to take to make it through there and reach whatever sort of pinnacle that is? Is it a week? Is it a month of play? How do you guys plan that?
So, like I was saying, there's different difficulty modes. Great question. There's different difficulty modes, right? And right when you hit 50, like the quest gear you have, you can go and do the easiest mode in the Eternity Vault operation. So you get together, because the idea for that is for the players who aren't as familiar with MMOs or not as hardcore, to just get together with some friends, make new friends, and enjoy those kind of Star Wars impactful moments or inspired moments. It's like the original trilogy inspires a lot of what we do there with sort of like a KOTOR flair, and we want players to get together and enjoy that. So there's not going to be any like months of gearing up to be able to do that. You can do that right away. How long is it going to take you to get through it from beginning to end? I mean, that really comes down to like a skill gradient. I can see it going, 3 hours to 6 hours. And of course, your progress is saved on you individually. So you come back the next day and invite some other people to your progress, or you can join some other people in their progress. And then the hard modes, well, that's a different story. We're tuning that stuff. We're going through play testing, so I can't commit to exact timelines now. But it will be more difficult, and there'll be slightly different mechanics, obviously, in the hard modes as well. And what we showcased recently at Gamescom, and what we'll be showing on Sunday as well, is the sort of easy mode, the introductory encounter, just to get people acquainted.
So
continue on raids, we know that there are different sizes and different difficulties. What about lockouts? Are all the lockouts going to be shared by the different combinations, or?
There will be different lockouts, and it will be different for the easy mode and hard mode. So there's different lockouts at that level. So easy mode is not going to apply to your hard mode lockout.
Any other questions? Here we go.
This one's for Daniel. Will there be any quests dealing with...
Meet the microphone.
Okay, sorry. This is for Daniel. Will there be any quests involving killing Wookiees to gain points with the Trandoshan God, the Scorekeeper?
I heard Wookiees.
Will there be quests involving killing Wookiees to get points with the Trandoshan God, the Scorekeeper? Will there be any Wookiee massacres in our game?
Wow. I'm trying to think through Quaizen's quest line now, and maybe. We don't do faction grinding, so it's not that sort of thing. But there may be some specific Trandoshans out there that the Trandoshan Wookiee hate-love fest is going on and strong.
Alright, sorry, one more question. So, your flashpoints, would you say that they would be similar to Dungeons and WoW? And if so, in the future, will you be able to queue for a flashpoint anywhere rather than going to a specific planet?
So two questions there. One is, are the flashpoints like the Dungeons and WoW? And no. They're the complexity level, the story level, the cinematics. You're making choices. You're actually going through them in different directions. It's a very, very different sort of experience, both in tasting and what the feel of it is like. And as far as, are you going to be able to queue them? If you're talking about Dungeon Finder stuff, I'll hand that over to Gabe.
No Dungeon Finder on launch, but it's something we're looking into. But we do have those social hubs, the stations I was talking about, where most of your flashpoints, basically you take a drop ship to go to most of those flashpoints. And then to add to how he was saying, is it similar to other MMOs? We've really layered in, like the choices he was talking about, the BioWare style into this group experience. We've also added elements. Like when you're going through like a BioWare dungeon, be it Baldur's Gate or whatever, you suddenly discover like a trap door, or you discover like, we've incorporated that with our crew skills. So if you have like archaeology, you might find a hidden lever and find another avenue to go around trash or something like that. Or if you have slicing, you might find a droid on the ground, and you can slice them and it'll help you along the way. So we've really tried to inject RPG into MMO, sort of in every level that we can.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about, I guess, the number of flashpoints that we're expecting towards release, and if they're going to be kind of spread out throughout the levels, where it's like every 5 levels, every 10 levels, something like that, you'll have an appropriate flashpoint. Because I guess with the information we've seen so far, it looks like there's one early on and then one later, but what about towards the middle?
I'm not going to give you an exact number, but you haven't even seen half of them. You can do flashpoints from level 8 to 50. You want to keep doing flashpoints, you can keep doing flashpoints, and you're going to see them every few levels, every X level.
Anyone else have a question? Stick your hand in the air if you do. Okay.
I know you guys do. That's why I like having fun to like yeah, don't stop being like that. A, players here, and B, you guys could say
Hi, my question is directed to Daniel. I was wondering how, when you're coming about the entire writing process, how you balance the desire of a lot of people to want to see iconic content in the game versus the desire of a lot of people to see new content and stuff that is unfamiliar to them.
So we have a lot of discussions about that. Gabe and I have a lot of discussions about that sometimes. The question was, how do you balance the iconic stuff versus the new stuff? One of the things that's really important about the iconic content, and if you look at the original Knights of the Old Republic, it's a great example. There are lots of very iconic Star Wars moments in there. None of them are carbon copies of those moments. You might have something that reminds you of the throne room fight with Vader, but we're not going to do a black room with red lights where you fight the Sith Lord and he jumps down with his cape, right? You don't want to stop and get pulled out of the game and think, oh, I remember that, that's cool. What you want to do is you want to feel naturally like you're in a Star Wars place without understanding what levers we're pulling to do that. And then every once in a while there is something that we just kind of say, you know what, this is a great little moment, and that's something we do more in like raids and things that are sort of set aside pieces that you're going to do a bunch of times. Those places we might just sort of cameo in a whole idea. But in your story, we want to keep you in there because we want to make sure that you're the hero and you feel like you're doing something original.
All right. Anyone have any more questions? Probably the last question, this one. Okay.
All right. I just showed up, so I hope you didn't answer this question already. A lot of people I know on the forums were a little confused when you said Huttball has mixed sides. Whether or not that means Republic and Empire can play together or not.
Yeah, no, it is Republic versus Republic or Empire versus Empire and Republic versus Empire. It's never mixing a single team with both factions. It's just that a faction team can fight the same faction team.
All right, thank you very much to Gabe and Daniel. We will be back at 5 o'clock for more Huttball fun and more Q&A, and I believe now we're going to show the Huttball video.
Oh, are we going to do it now?
We have it queued up now.